Hey Internet, this is Gunter with MiniMishaps Games, and today we're going to be making a mold and casting a minion. Make sure to stay to the end and see if it turns out. So last time on Minis from Scratch, I made every mistake possible with a 3D print design. And hopefully this week I redeem myself with the mold casting. So we are going to be starting by building a mold. So I'm going to get out some Legos here. So after you get your pile of Legos ready, you're going to draw little picture frames around the thing that you're going to mold cast. And you're going to just stack them up and stack them up until it's deep enough to eventually cover the whole, in this case, toy. And once they are set, then you're going to be pouring just a tiny bit of the two-part rubber into the bottom so that it creates an even level surface. So you can tape around the bottom like I'm doing here, and that'll keep it from running out if there's any cracks or seams there. So we're pouring the rubber in, and then we'll let the first small layer set, and we'll get all of that into there. Now I've set up 3 molds here so that one is going to be the main one that we cast, and the other 2 are going to sort of be, if I mix too much rubber at once, I don't want to waste any, so I can build up those molds over time. Once we've got the first layer done, then we'll set the thing we want to cast into the mold, and then we'll pour the liquid rubber up to halfway, or as close as an approximate as we can get. In this video, I end up pouring it a little bit high, and that just means you have to cut and dig out the miniature later, and that's not the end of the world. So I let another round of the mold cast set, and then you want to make sure that you have a very good layer of the mold release between the 2 pieces of mold, and once the mold release has dried, then you can pour the rest of the mold the rest of the way, and hopefully that allows you to separate the 2 parts of the mold relatively easily. Now, I apparently didn't use enough separator because the mold became one solid piece of silicone rubber, and that's also not the end of the world. It's just a little extra work to get the mold apart. You have to cut along the sides, and then once you hit the toy, then you can use that as your center line to go out in every direction and basically trace the miniature. So let's see how that turned out. Alright, so before we see how that finished mini turned out, I just want to remind everybody that next week on Minis from Scratch, we're actually doing our Sweets Challenge to build a miniature out of your old Christmas candy or any extra candy or sweets you have lying around. And so if you want to participate in that, go ahead and make up it can be a miniature or a diorama or whatever you think encapsulates sweet, because we are having our 2 challenges, Sweet and Bright, for the new year 2021. And so those submissions should be in before next week for Sweet. And then we'll maybe try and feature a couple of your guys' works in the video. So, okay, so here is our finished mold. It looks pretty good and ready for painting. He doesn't have any legs, but that's simply because I didn't make exactly enough of the thermoset plastic. And but now I know that I have a mold that works. I can fill it up to the bottoms of his feet, and the next one that we make will have legs and feet. So this has been the 6th episode of Minis from Scratch. We hope you'll join us next time, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and support us on Patreon, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Internet.